there, welcome back to my channel. The holidays are upon us and it is about that time of year where we all start going to different holiday parties and all the hustle and bustle and craziness. What do I do with my hair? What do I do with my makeup? What do I wear? Things like that. And I'm gonna do a simple little holiday look today, and I figured, you know, I would just kind of post this, kind of a get ready with me type deal. I am going to my company's holiday party this evening, and I'm actually hosting it. So I figured I'd do like a quick little holiday glam type look, and you know, maybe it'll be useful for somebody that doesn't necessarily know what to do with a holiday glam look. I've seen a lot of like, you know, golds and browns and a lot of like cranberry colors and things like that. And I figured I'd probably do like a green. I kind of have like this Christmas tree kind of vibe going on. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use a couple different palettes to kind of achieve the look of what I'm thinking of doing. And so we'll go through this whole thing start to finish. I have already prepped and primed my face. What I use to prime my face, I do go in with a little bit of the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer, and it's the pore minimizing one. I feel like it's a very good dupe for the Benefit Professional. I mean, they're both kind of in the same price point, but they seems like they work exactly the same way. So either one will work. And then I have extremely dry skin, like horrifically dry skin. So I kind of go in with the Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer to prime my face just to get as much moisture as I can into here. That way none of my foundation looks crazy or cakey or flaky or dry or anything like that, because that's not a cute look, let's be real. So anyway, we'll go ahead and dive on into this. So basically, since my skin is already primed, I'm going to go ahead and start off with doing my foundation. Fun facts is I really didn't start wearing foundation until like last year. Just because I never liked it. I feel like, I don't know, I've just seen a lot of people in person that wear it and it would be just like really cakey or like not good looking, but then, you know, I've met people that can apply it correctly and things like that, and it actually can look really, really pretty if it's done correctly, and I've always kind of shied away from it. So when I do my foundation, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, I'll use something that's a little bit more a lighter coverage. I actually don't own any full coverage foundations just because they scare me a little bit. I haven't really wanted to use them. So what I use every day, it is the MAC Next to Nothing Face Color, and I use it in the color Dark. And this is, I love this stuff. I mean, if you already have pretty like decent skin, you're not having to cover up any crazy like blemishes, things like that. This works really well on just kind of evening out your skin tone and making everything pretty much seamless. I love this stuff. It kind of gives you that nice little airbrush look, and it does leave somewhat of a dewy effect on your skin. It is not a matte formula, it is a dewy formula. So if you have oily skin, you may want to stay away from this just because it may make you look a little bit more oily than you already are. But if you have dry skin, this stuff is amazing. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and dive in. I'm going to clip my hair back so that, you know, it doesn't get in the way while we're doing any of this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a damp beauty blender, and I'm gonna put a couple pumps of this on the back of my hand. And then we will go ahead and apply this all over the face and of course down the neck, just because you want your face to match your neck. So we'll go ahead and blend this all over. All right, so as you see, it does leave a dewy finish on the skin. And I know I get some questions sometimes on how to get foundation to stick to your nose, because I know that's really difficult. I swear by this stuff, or the Professional. And sometimes even going in with like a eyeshadow primer and just kind of dabbing it all over your nose will really help that foundation to stick. I know that if I do not put any type of primer around or on my nose, like my foundation will not stick at all. So that is a little tip there. So next I'm going to go ahead and conceal. I'm going to go ahead and go in with the bareMinerals bareSkin Concealer. I am in the color medium golden. I do really, really love this stuff. I also use the Tarte Shape Tape quite a bit if I'm going for more of a heavier coverage, but for anything that's kind of like light to medium coverage, this stuff is amazing and it blends super, super well. So we'll go ahead and go in with this, and we're going to go under the under eyes. And I only conceal under my under eyes. I don't tend to go into my forehead or down the nose or on my chin or anything. I'll take some of the residual from what is in here, and then I'll begin to like apply that on, you know, my chin and forehead and things like that, but I don't use any concealer there. And I do blend this up and over my eye so that you can kind of set and prime the eye for eyeshadow. Stuff blends out so well. I really, really love this stuff. And I feel like bareMinerals is so underrated. I don't really hear of a lot of people using it, but their products are amazing. And this concealer, I mean, if, like I said, for any type of like light coverage or, you know, kind of light medium coverage, this stuff works fantastic for it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and go in and set the face. I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on with a my damp beauty blender. I feel like it's the best way to put it on. I feel like if you do it with a brush, it tends to just go everywhere, and if you just use that that damp sponge, it tends to stick a lot better, I've found. It doesn't fall all over the place. Really, I just go all over my face, so just put it everywhere. You can never have too much setting powder. And this is a really, really good setting powder, especially if you're going to holiday parties, Christmas parties, things where a lot of pictures and things like that will be happening. Just because this formula does not have any flashback, so that's great. You don't want to have any flashback in your photos. It's not cute. Also, for my girls with dry skin, applying it with a damp beauty blender also helps. I feel like when you have really, really dry skin, it does have a tendency to just kind of sit on top of the dry patches and make it look worse. So it definitely helps to kind of melt it into the skin. And then I'm just going to go in with a big powder brush. I'm going in with the Crown C518 brush. It's a very big, nice, fluffy brush. And just kind of dust this all over the face. Over the eyes a little bit, just to kind of make sure that that concealer that we just put on our eyes is not tacky and doesn't hold on to the eyeshadow. And excuse my giant pimple on my chin. That guy popped up this week, and I don't care how much concealer I have, that stuff it's gonna have to run its course. So next, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. It's really the only thing that I do use for my eyebrows. I use the color Chocolate. I feel like this stuff is the best. I mean, I was unfortunately blessed with very sparse eyebrows, so I do need to fill them in quite a bit, and I feel like this does a really, really great job without making it look too, you know, crazy. So I do use the spoolie, and I am using this brush. It is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think it's a number 12 brush. It's a little bit pricey, but this is kind of the best one that I've ever had. And if you look at the actual brush itself, it's very, very thin, so it gives you more of a precise line, whereas I feel a lot of other brushes tend to be a little bit thicker, and it makes, you know, building that line a little bit more difficult. So I'm gonna go in and carve out the brows. And I kind of go in and stripe the product through my brows a little bit. I don't know why I do this, but I mean, it kind of just helps me to find which direction I want my eyebrows to go in. And then always go light in the front of your brows. I know that some people tend to have a little bit of issues with dip brow, especially when it's a brand new pot. A little bit goes a long way on this, and for some reason when you first ever get it, it's like that stuff is wet and it goes on so dark. So the best way to use this product is to really just kind of build it up as you go. Don't go in there all crazy with your brush and pick up a ton of product and, you know, end up with some crazy dark brows. What is going on with this eyebrow today? Good God. And always leave it a little bit light in the front of the eyebrow. You don't want those big, blocky, square eyebrows. That is not natural, ladies and gentlemen. Not a natural look. Alright, then I take the spoolie and just kind of brush through them a little bit and kind of disperse the product so it doesn't look too crazy. I don't like that look of like super solid brows, just because it looks really, really unnatural. So you kind of still want to see your hairs in there a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and go in and do my eyeshadow. I'm going to be using a combination of a couple of different things. I'm going to be using a couple Morphe palettes. I will be using this guy here. It's the Morphe Dare to Create palette. It's the 39A. I'm going to use that mostly for my transition shades, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take a nice big blending brush. It is the Morphe M535 brush. I'm going to go ahead and take a nice soft color, this guy right here, and just kind of put it in my crease just to kind of soften it up a little bit. Next, I am going to take the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Androgyny palette, and because I said I want to do a green and gold eye look, I'm going to use the color Military right here, and I'm going to pop that into my crease just to kind of give like a lighter green transition shade, because I'm going to go from a light green to really more of like a dark evergreen color. So go ahead and pop that onto a brush, and we're just going to pop that in up here. So next, I'm going to take another little blending brush, one that is not as thick. I'm actually going to go in with the Morphe R39 brush, and I'm going to dip into the Dare to Create palette, and I'm going to use this guy right here and kind of use this to kind of go into the crease and just use it on the outer half of my lid. I'm going to go ahead and dip into there. I'm going to just kind of pack it in on this eye. And I'm going to go back in with that really fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to go in and just kind of diffuse the edges a little bit so it doesn't look so harsh. I'm going to go into the Morphe 35B palette, this very colorful guy there, and I'm going to take this deep green color right here, and I'm going to pop it into that outer corner. I'm going to go in with my Morphe E17. It's just a very small little blending brush, and then dip into there. And I'm just going to kind of pack it into this outer corner. And for the gold, I'm actually going to go in with the Dose of Colors Desi x Katy eyeshadow palette here. So it's these guys here, and I'm going to go in with this color, this gold color here. It is in the color Suze. And this one, I know that you need to apply it wet. It's very, very specific. I think this is the only shade in the entire palette that you can actually use with a brush, but all the rest of them have to be used wet or it does not come out very well. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on a Morphe M425 brush. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into here. And I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of MAC Fix Plus, and I'm going to go ahead and spray it just to kind of get it a little wet there. And we're going to apply it to the inner corner and that little half of the lid there. I'm going to go back in with that dirty R39 brush and just kind of soften these up together, get them to blend so that we don't have such a harsh line with that gold. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and align my underline with that green color that we have here in the Morphe palette. So it's this guy right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of my little brushes here, this guy, and we are going to dip into there, and then we're going to line the entire bottom of our eye with it. going to line my waterline there with the L'Oreal Infallible eyeliner, just in the color black. I'm gonna use a beauty blender to bring my eye down so I can fill it in. Go back in with that brush again and kind of diffuse that black line that we just put in there. Just kind of blend it down into the green. We'll go ahead and finish up the face. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of bronzing contouring with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a MAC brush. I'm gonna go ahead and go into this color here. And we're just gonna go ahead and carve out that face a bit. Alright, and then to highlight, I'm going to be using the brand new Jeffree Star Cosmetics 24 karat collection, his little pro palette that he put together. If you haven't gotten your hands on this yet, I highly suggest you do, because this stuff is amazing. These two right here are two skin frosts that he has already had, which is King Tut and Dark Horse. Otherwise, all these other four, they are brand new shades. So I'm actually going to go in with the color Sarcophagus. It gives me more of a frosty look. That's kind of what I'm going for. So I'm going to go in with the Morphe R36 highlighting brush. So I'm going to kind of dip into there. And we're going to highlight. I'm going to put a little bit of that in my inner corner. I do really like this color. I'm going to go ahead and put that on a Morphe M573 brush. Just kind of dip in there and just pop it into this inner corner. And I'm going to go in with a cherry red lip. It is the NYX Liquid Suede formula, and it is in the color Cherry Skies. One of my favorite red colors. I don't really do like the Fire Engine reds because they tend to look kind of crazy on me. They're just like, ah! So I'm going to go ahead and apply this all over the lip. This is one of my favorite drugstore lipsticks. It stays on forever. It doesn't dry down super dry or anything like that. It's very comfortable to wear all night. I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of the MAC Hot and Naughty 2 Black Lash Mascara. Apply a little bit of that to the top and bottoms. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and apply my lashes off camera, and I will be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the look. I do need to wrap this up because I do need to get on the road so that I can make sure that everything is running correctly for this holiday party. A little bit nervous about it. But anyways, thank you for following along. I hope this will help anybody with maybe springing some ideas of what you want to do for your holiday look. It's a little bit different. I did want to kind of keep the gold theme in there just because, you know, it's so Christmas, but kind of was thinking of a Christmas tree when I put the whole thing together, and I've got my red Christmas velvet blazer on, so I feel very in the holiday spirit. But anywho, thank you again for following along. I will be back next week with more content. I did finally get my hands on the Kylie Cosmetics Naughty Palette, and I'll be kind of going through that, swatching it, doing an eye look with that, just to see how it works, how it goes. And it's actually my first ever Kylie Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. I don't have any other eyeshadow palettes from her, so this will be my first. So anywho, if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Everything that I use will be down in the description box, as well as all my social media. And before you leave, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun content that I have to post up. Otherwise, have a great rest of your weekend or week or whenever you're watching this. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.